Hello people, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, a special welcome to you. I ask that you check out the rest of my videos. If you like what you see, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment, but more than anything, I'm asking that you subscribe to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about two Jamaicans in the United States of America that wants two different things when it comes to the immigration in the United States of America and or the courts in the United States of America. I'm talking about Lee Boyd Malvo. You know, Lee Boyd Malvo that was involved in the DC sniper, the Beltway sniper, that shooting incident that went down, I believe, in 2002 that made big news across the United States of America and probably across the world. Lee Boyd Malvo was 17 years old then. He's 34 years old now, and he's looking for a second chance. The second person that I'm going to be talking about is an informant and or key witness in the Christopher Dudus Coke trial, Shawn B, aka Cowboy of Jamaica. First, I'm going to start with Lee Boyd Malvo because that's the one that truly interests me, to be honest. Lee Boyd Malvo was 17 years old when he was arrested and charged in connection with John Williams, a trained sniper. For all of you who might not know about the story, I've already covered it in one of my YouTube video, and I'll actually post the link at the end of this video. In that video, I was pretty much saying Lee Boyd Malvo does deserve a second chance because he was 17 years old. In this video, I'm pretty much saying the very same thing. Recently, it has come to light that Lee Boyd Malvo is nearing a hearing in court where the judge will decide whether or not he deserves to have a second chance at freedom. It has created a great divide in the United States of America where one side of the panel is saying he should pretty much rot in prison and spend the rest of his life there, while there's another side of prison who's leaning on the Constitution of the United States of America and saying he was never supposed to be sentenced to life in prison without parole in the first place. And that's pretty much the side that I'm leaning on. Here's the thing, I'm not leaning on that side because Lee Boyd Malvo is a Jamaican. I'm leaning on that side because I'm a person who respects law and I believe in upholding law in every country. So when it comes to anything legal, I'm all ears. Once upon a time, the United States of America was seen as a model country when it comes to law and order. Over the years, with the existence of YouTube and more people publishing the reality of America, I think people have viewed America and its laws and its fairness of rulings a little differently. When it comes to Lee Boyd Malvo being in prison for the rest of his life, I am in total disagreement, and I hope in this particular case the US Constitution upholds and show Lee Boyd Malvo, the United States of America, and the rest of the world that they are about fairness and they are about respecting their own laws. In this case, we would have to cite the 8th Amendment of the United States of America, which prohibits anyone who is under the age of 18 to be sentenced to life in prison without parole. And that should just be an open and shut matter right there, because the United States Constitution should overrule pretty much anyone's feelings. I'm not ignoring the fact that people died. Lee Boyd Malvo was equally involved in these people losing their lives. 10 individuals lost their lives. So 10 families across the United States of America has been shattered. I get that. I understand that. And I understand that John Mohammed was sentenced to death and he was put to death a few years ago. Now, a lot of people that are still angry towards Lee Boyd Malvo for the incident and all are ignoring two things. They're ignoring first the United States of America's Constitution. And they're also ignoring the simple fact that Lee Boyd Malvo, being 17 years old at the time, was indeed a child. And one of the main reasons why the United States of America's 8th Amendment prohibits children being put in prison for life without parole is because the United States of America believes that anyone under the age of 18 mentally isn't fully developed and cannot fully make decisions on their own. So pretty much I'm saying to the victim's family of this situation that, okay, yeah, I understand that your relative died in the matter, and the same United States of America law that you would like to protect you in future instances are the same United States of America law that you were pleased to have put John Mohammed to death. You also have to respect that very same law if on the flip side that law is saying we cannot sentence someone to life without parole if he was arrested and arraigned and charged below the age of 18. People living in the United States of America must respect the law whether or not it worked to satisfy their favors. We can move the marginal lines of the law just to please us in certain circumstances. Speaking of circumstances, I read somewhere where they said, although the United States of America's 8th Amendment protects minors from being sentenced to life without parole, it can also vary in special circumstances. Now, when it comes to law, I know that technicality is everything that an attorney and a prosecutor relies on. If this is a fact, and when you have a law that's written and says that in special circumstances that amendment can vary, that word special circumstances could be applied to anything. That would be giving a judge the powers to prescribe what he or she wishes to prescribe as special circumstances. I believe that that prescription needs description. Special circumstances have to be more specified. It has to say whether it's mass murder. It has to say whether or not it's terrorist activity. I think special circumstances is a loose term that could work in and out anyone's favor by the bias or prejudice of any judge. Let me know what you guys think about that term, special circumstances. Do you think LeBoy Malvo deserved a chance at freedom because he was 17 years old at the time and may or may not have been quite aware of what he was doing, or maybe he was compelled. Maybe he felt compelled or obligated to the adult at the time. Let me know what you guys think, but I already put my vote in. LeBoy Malvo should have a second chance of life based up on the laws of the United States of America, in particularly the 8th Amendment. So right now, LeBoy Malvo is hoping that the judge leans towards the 8th Amendment, release him, even if they release him to ICE and send him back to Jamaica. While on the flip side, there is another Jamaican in the United States of America at the moment who is scared to death to be deported to Jamaica. This one I find a little funny, even though it's a very serious situation. I'm gonna actually tell you the parts that I find funny, then I'm gonna elaborate on how serious the situation is. I find it funny because this guy, who was actually a key witness in sentencing one of the most notorious dons in Jamaica, were actually an illegal alien in the United States of America. And while he was testifying in favor of the United States of America, they were quite aware that he was an illegal immigrant in the United States of America. So this guy was not promised refugee status, a green card, an extended visa. So there must be other reasons why he believed that he should have testified against Dudder Scope. At the same time, I can't say he was not promised, because maybe he was promised something and the courts or the prosecution office reneged on their promise. But I found it funny that he, being an illegal alien, would testify against one of the most notorious dons in Jamaica with the likeliness that he could have been found out to be illegal and get deported to Jamaica at some point. So I do believe that he must have been promised something. That would make more sense in my head. But then again, these days, a lot of things don't make sense. So that's the funny part of it, that someone would make a testimony against a notorious figure knowing well that they can be deported to Jamaica at any one point. His fears are real because from the information that I've gathered, his relatives have been murdered, his sister's home has burnt down, and I believe an uncle of his had to run away from the area to the United States of America. So I do see where his fears are genuine, and I believe in that case the United States of America should at least grant him some asylum. That's if we know that he's supposed to seek asylum. When one life is being threatened to that degree where they can prove it, that almost guarantees a person an asylum status in any country that upholds human rights. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the United States of America is one. So yeah, people, that's pretty much it. So we've got Lee Boyd Malvo, who wouldn't mind being deported, and we've got Shawn B, aka Cowboy, who is scared to death of being deported to Jamaica. But hold on, before I go, I have to big up some people in my big up segment.
Big up yourself to the maximum. Big up yourself to the maximum.
Big up to Stephen Johnson, one of my loyal subscribers turned online friends. Big up Amos D. And last but not least, big up to John Rutty.
Big up yourself to the maximum. Big up yourself to the maximum.
So yeah, people, that's pretty much my video for the day. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you believe that Lee Boyd Malvo should be released from prison and or deported, and let me know if you believe that Shawn B, aka Cowboy, should be granted asylum in the United States of America, or he should be deported. That's pretty much it for now, people. Once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for always tuning in. Thanks for your commentary. As you know, I accept thumbs up, thumbs down, agreement, disagreement, because like I always say, each one teach one. Until next time, people. Peace.